Catherine Cobden is standing by. She's the president and CEO of the Canadian Steel Producers Association. Catherine, thanks for your time on this Tuesday. What do you make of this?
Yes, thank you for having me. Well, obviously, this is discouraging news in the sense that 25% tariff that was going to be leveled this overnight is now 50. So that's clearly going to be, a worst case scenario, or at least a very bad case scenario for the domestic steel industry.
Do you have any sort of legal recourse? I mean, is the president just able to just sort of pick numbers willy-nilly and slap your industry with them? Does he have that power, Catherine?
Well, I guess I think the very first point I want to make is that we haven't yet seen the legal text. So I want to remind everyone that the 232 reinstatement on steel and aluminum that he put out recently was for all countries, not just Canada. So now what we have is a scenario where there's a specific stream aimed at a worst case for just Canada. So that means we're awaiting the legal text. We're awaiting the detail that show us how will this actually be put into place, under what timeline, and that sort of thing. Obviously, the president made some of these remarks in his tweet, or his post, but we actually need to see the detail to truly understand, all the specifics around his vision. And then as for legal recourse, this is 232. I think this is one of the legal paths that the U.S. has used in the past. So it's certainly a question we can ask, but not one that I have a clear answer on in terms of how to change the situation.
If the president is deciding to try and bully Canada to pay back what Ontario is doing on electricity, sort of, making the two related, I'm curious, what the impact will be on Canada's steel and aluminum industry. I mean, I would assume there is a certain amount of cushion to withstand blows, but this is very substantial. What might we see if this were to stay in place, let's say, for weeks or months?
Yes, I think 50% tariff, it's, a huge problem, and we should start considering that the U.S. market is now closed to Canadian steel. And that's a very big point, given that half of what we produce goes to the U.S. But in that, my glimmer of hope and my message to all of the governments in Canada, provincially and federally, is to work with us on what we really need, which is to take control of our own domestic market. Let's get rid of unfair trade in Canada, and that will give the domestic industry a fighting chance. But we can't wait weeks, we can't wait months, we can't wait, any longer than mere days at 50% to get this done.
Catherine Cobden joining us. So she is with the Canadian Steel Producers Association, the president and the CEO. She is in Ottawa today. Catherine, thanks for this today.
Thanks.